Hello there, my name is Sixo, but more on that later as now it's time for today's Toy of the Week video. So we've been mixing it up a bit with some of the choices of toys of late, but today I figured it was time to get back to a bit of solid, reliable, old Generation 1. After all, there are still loads of bits of the original Transformers series to explore, and actually there's quite a bit of my collection that I've never taken the time to write about before as well. So with that in mind, we're going to today focus on a little something that I picked up not so long ago. Now, it's actually a completely new experience for me as well, as I've never owned this toy before. It's Micromaster Overflow and Full Barrel and the Battlefield Headquarters. Battlefield Headquarters is a Micromaster-based playset from 1990, the final year of the original Transformers line in North America. Despite being one of several such Micromaster sets, Battlefield Headquarters is by far and away the most unusual example, as we'll see. The main vehicle on offer here is that of a heavily fortified and armoured truck, complete with American flag-style decals all down each side. It's a sizable beast and about as chunky and as solid as you'd expect from latter-day Generation 1. It features some very striking chrome on the front bumper section, which can be quite tricky to find without significant wear if you're looking to pick this set up second-hand. Elsewhere, it's loaded with detail and comes complete with 4 large red rockets, which tab onto the top of the folded-up wings. Additionally, there are 2 different sets of black guns, one of which forms the smokestacks for the cab, whilst the other can be pegged in on top of the truck. Accompanying this set are the Micromaster characters themselves, Overflow and Full Barrel. Like a number of other 1990 Micromaster squads, these two are Micromaster combiners, in that they transform into one integrated vehicle form. They're handsome little lads all unto themselves, although fairly standard fare in their robot modes at least. What makes these two a little peculiar is that their combined alternate mode is seemingly a smaller version of the main Battlefield Headquarters toy itself. You might think this is just coincidence, but moulded details such as that meant to replicate the folded up wings on the larger version would indicate otherwise. In their robot forms, both characters can be folded up and made to sit inside the cab of the large truck, although they don't peg into anything, so they do kind of rattle around a little. There's also a ramp that folds down at the back of the trailer section, meaning that Overflow and Full Barrel can store inside here too, should you wish. Alternatively, you can position them in the moulded out section on top of the truck, where they can use those black guns if you've pegged them in place. Unusually for a set like this, there are no little pegs for the Micromasters to actually be stowed on here, meaning that they just stand freely. All in all, this mode looks really quite something when it's fully made up, and appears quite ready for battle too, especially if you opt to fold down the smokestacks for a bit of extra firepower. Of course, the play value doesn't stop there, as the truck mode splits into 2 before moving on to transform into an entirely separate set of vehicles. The cab section turns round, with the wheels folding up and the wings coming down to become a blue jet, the cockpit of which can house either of the Micromasters. The rear section transforms in a similar fashion to become a larger shuttle mode, this time with a moulded out compartment on top that both Micromasters can peg into. But wait, there's more, as the shuttle has a set of bay doors which can be opened up, revealing the inside of what was the truck's trailer section. You can peg a number of different Micromasters inside this rear compartment, and equip it with all 4 of the black guns to complete the look. All in all, these 2 components complement each other nicely, and make for a notable amount of play value overall, even if it is all a little bit bizarre. Things only get stranger with the combined vehicle mode, where you tab the jet on top of the shuttle, giving you a full-on Battlefield Headquarters flying form. I'm not sure how well it works in truth, but it's a bit of fun all the same. What's more notable about this set is that it's the only Micromaster base to not make use of the otherwise standard ramp feature, whereby every other example can be combined together to form a micro city of sorts. In fact, it doesn't even come with any ramps at all, further setting it apart from the rest of the line. It's by no means the only way this toy feels unique, as Battlefield Headquarters proves to be one of the more idiosyncratic releases of latter-day Generation 1, and in many ways, it's also one of the most fun. So I've had my eyes on this set for years, but I've never pulled the trigger before, as it was always seemingly impossible to find in the kind of condition that I was after. I think I actually looked at 2 different sets at last year's TF Nation alone, but in the end I passed as they weren't quite right and the prices were too high anyway. Now, it can be really tricky to find a decent one of these, as all too often the stickers are worn, or the white plastic is horribly discoloured, or the chrome on the front bumper is damaged. I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong. If you can find a decent one though, then you're in for a treat, as it's one of the more involved and certainly one of the more distinctive playsets from the entire Micromaster line, and I think it looks fab when loaded with lots of little robots themselves. So a definite recommendation from me on another solid bit of G1 greatness. Lastly, a big thank you to everyone who's subscribed to the channel so far. It's continuing to do well, so thank you very much, and if you haven't yet, please hit that button below right now. Big shout out to all my Patreon supporters as well. The details are coming up in a moment, so if you do want to help me keep this whole endeavour moving, it's appreciated. Otherwise, that's it from me. Enjoy the rest of your day. TTFN.